All right, guys, we've got some new Jack Reacher Amazon series news. And it's more casting news, which is exciting because the more people they cast, the further along the creation of the show gets, the more it feels like reality. You know, a lot of stuff, you hear rumors and speculation. You never know if something's actually going to happen. You don't know if the series is ever actually going to get made. It happens with movies all the time. They cast a title character, they start working on a script, and then it gets scrapped. It never ends up happening, but it seems like this one's actually going forward. They just keep casting people for this series. So I'm going to go through some articles that I found and tell you guys about these new casting choices. All right, this first article I'm reading is from Deadline. iZombie alum Malcolm Goodwin, Willa Fitzgerald, and Chris Webster have been tapped as series regulars opposite Alan Ritchson in an upcoming Amazon original series, Reacher, based on the Jack Reacher character from Lee Child's international best-selling books. Ritchson starred as the title character in the series, produced by Amazon Studios, Skydance, and Paramount Television Studios. The first season is based on the first Jack Reacher novel, The Killing Floor, which is set in Georgia. Now I don't think it's called The Killing Floor. I think it's just called A Killing Floor. That's a mistype. Goodwin will star as Chief Detective Oscar Finley, a Harvard-educated tweed suit-wearing northerner who recently relocated to the small town of Margrave to take a job in the Margrave Police Department. Fitzgerald stars as Roscoe Conklin, who was born and raised in Margrave and is a smart and proud officer in the Margrave PD. She is resilient and is intimidated by nothing and no one. Webster stars as KJ, the spoiled son of businessman and town benefactor Kleiner. KJ, I don't know why it says it like that. Kleiner is their last name. The Kleiners. Anyway, KJ thinks the town and townspeople, especially Roscoe, belong to him. So, a little bit of background on each of these people. Goodwin starred as Clive Babineau in the CW series iZombie. What else? His TV credits also include a series regular role on Breakout Kings and guest roles on House of Cards, Project Blue Book, True Blood, and Wayward Pines. Now, Fitzgerald played the lead in MTV's Scream series. She also starred in the Netflix anthology series Dolly Parton's Heartstrings, and she was in the USA series Dare Me. Webster was recently a series regular opposite Christopher Waltz and Liam Hemsworth in the Quibi series Most Dangerous Game. The England-born actor also recurred on the AMC series Turn, Washington Spies. All right, in addition to those three casting choices, we've got three more, and these were just released today. The first three that I told you about were released, I think, a couple days ago, and now we've got brand new breaking news. Bruce McGill, Maria Sten, and Hugh Thompson will join Alan Ritchson in Amazon series. This is another article from Deadline. Bruce McGill, Rizzoli and Isles, Maria Sten from Swamp Thing, and Hugh Thompson from Chapelwaite have been tapped as series regulars opposite Alan Ritchson in the upcoming Amazon series. McGill will play Mayor Teal, the distinguished mayor of Margrave, who comes from a long line of Southern gentlemen who have run Margrave for a decade. Sten will portray the irreverent Frances Nagley. She formerly worked under Reacher as an Army MP and now is a private investigator and is Reacher's best friend. Thompson will play Baker, the head cop of Margrave. Baker enjoys his position of power but hates Detective Finley. McGill has appeared in more than 150 films and series spanning the last 5 decades, including Lincoln, Collateral, My Cousin Vinny, Miami Vice, MacGyver, The Insider, and Animal House. He was Detective Corsack on Rizzoli and Isles, and recently appeared on Netflix, The Crew, and NBC's Shades of Blue. Like, this guy is in everything. If you don't recognize him from his picture, I don't know where you've been living for the past, 30 30 years of movies and television. Sten most recently starred as Liz Tremaine in the cult hit series Swamp Thing opposite Crystal Reed, Jennifer Beals, Virginia Madsen, Will Patton, and Andy Bean. She's also known for playing Jillian Hope Hodgson on Sci-Fi's Channel Zero. An accomplished writer, Sten most recently wrote an ABC hit show, Big Sky. Thompson received a Canadian Screen Award nomination for Super Channel series Forgive Me and Gemini Award for his work on CBS CTV series Flashpoint. He had heavy recurring roles on Diggstown and Pure, and most recently portrayed George Dennison on the Stephen King series Chapelwaite for Epix. I'm excited. I'm really excited, especially to hear about the casting of Nagley, because Nagley is going to be a recurring character. Well, we would hope so, recurring character throughout the series. So season after season, we should be seeing her pop back in and out of the picture. And one of my favorite characters from the books, and I'm sure a lot of people's favorite characters from the books, she's such a badass, such an awesome character, and plays so well off of Jack. And I just love any interaction we get between these two, and I'm interested to see how she's going to fit into the series, because the first book, Killing Floor, did not feature Frances Nagley. She was not in the story at all. In fact, you don't meet Frances Nagley until a few books into the Jack Reacher series. It was a good, I think, 5 or 6 years before we met Frances Nagley in the books when they started. So, I don't know. Are they going to write her into the story to please the fans? I mean, I'm all for it. I just don't know where she fits in, because, like I said, she wasn't in the Killing Floor novel. So they would literally have to insert her into the story somehow. But I'm glad she's cast. I'm excited, and from what I see of the actress, she looks like she could play Nagley. I don't see why not. So, I don't know. Going forward, I'm excited for this series to happen. Like, I can't wait for it to actually be here. Like I said before, I was like, speculative. I was kind of worried of whether or not it would actually happen or not, because, it's been the dream of the book readers to get an accurate portrayal of Jack Reacher in the stories of Jack Reacher on screen for a long time, and then we got those 2 Tom Cruise movies that just did not do it for most of us. And so, it's something that, like, you always hope might happen. It's kind of like Stephen King movies. It's like they're never quite as good as the books. You know what I mean? Like, there's been some great Stephen King adaptations, but for the most part, especially the horror adaptations, not so good. Not so good. And you just wish that somehow the screen could capture what the book gave us, right? And that's a lot to live up to. But I am at least hoping that this series gives us a more book-accurate portrayal of Reacher and the characters that surround him. But yeah, I'm really excited for this series. The only other thing that I question about this is the guy that they have playing the lead detective. He looks a little young to be playing this lead detective, because I think if I recall correctly from the book, he was an older guy, like near retirement age. 38 seems a little bit young for that type of grizzled old character. I think the guy had some gray hair going on. I don't know. I just remember it being an older character when I read the book, and I reread the book just a couple of months ago, so it's still fresh in my mind, and that's how I pictured him. Maybe not. Maybe he was the same age as Jack Reacher. But the actor portraying him is 38 years old, so it just seemed a little young for me. But other than that, I'm sure they're going to do great. I'm sure he's going to do a great job as the character. We'll see how it plays out. But I'd like to thank you guys for sticking around for this kind of long video. If you're interested in more Jack Reacher news or anything to do with the series or the books, stick around, because I do Jack Reacher stuff all the time. I review the books. I put out news like this on the series or any other Jack Reacher stuff that's coming out. And when the series starts, I'll be doing, full-on breakdowns of each episode. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. But I also do other stuff on the channel. I upload something every single day or at least I try to this channel. And, it's mostly entertainment, pop culture, current events, stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to the channel. Stick around. Or you can check out the podcast, which is the same name. Just search Daily BS, and it's just an audio version of what you're seeing here. So if you're interested in that and getting something new and interesting in your feed every day, and also a little bit of Jack Reacher sprinkled in for good measure, then please, subscribe to the channel. And if you decide to stick around, if you decide to subscribe to the channel or favorite or follow the podcast, then I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks.